own love. If you're so taking love, I will come for you for sure. If we're caught in a wave, I will carry over. It don't matter where you are, I'll run to your front door. When my head goes in different directions, you know my heart's never on the move. And in the dark times, you don't have to question if I'm around where we are. You could put an ocean between our love, love, love. It will keep us apart. You could build a wall, I will run it up, 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 just to get to your heart. If we're caught in a wave, maybe we'll make a way. You could put an ocean between our love, love, love. It won't keep us apart. Shadows play on idle names. I lose myself, I do. But I find my way to velvet chains. I'll crash right into you. If we're caught in a wave, I will carry you over. It don't matter where we are, you're still the one I choose. When my head goes in different directions, you know my heart's never on the move. And in the dark times, you don't have to question if I'm around where we are. You could put an ocean between our love, love, love. It won't keep us apart. You could build a wall, I will run it up, 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 just to get to your heart. If we're caught in a wave, maybe we'll make a way. You could put an ocean between our love, love, love. It won't keep us apart. You could put an ocean between our love, love, love. It won't keep us apart. You could build a wall, I will run it up, 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 just to get to your heart. If we're caught in a wave, maybe we'll make a way. You could put an ocean between our love, love, love. It won't keep us apart.
Heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? Goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffling composing. Hallelujah. Faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw the bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew ya. Tied you to a kitchen
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the weekly live stream. My name is Brandon Tobias. It's a complete honor to have you here on our channel, Science of the Soul and Stars. The best is yet to come. Give me just a couple more minutes. We are just getting last-minute preparations done. I know I am so tardy. Please forgive me. And enjoy the song. We're going live here with our weekly live stream in just a minute or two. Happy Sunday to all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I do truly appreciate it. All right, we just need the right crystals now. All right. Welcome everybody to the weekly live stream. My name is Brandon Tobias. It's a complete honor to have you here on this channel, Science of the Soul and Stars. If you're new here, we do weekly live readings for the Twin Flame community and the updates and the world and society, and really we leave it up to the guides and angels and to God what comes through on this channel. If you're joining for the first time, I am not necessarily a religious person, although there's nothing wrong with that. What I do is I help to channel messages, helpful messages, through the power of unconditional love, through the power of God, through the power of the guides and angels, and I allow what needs to come through for all of our highest good, including my own, on a weekly basis, for as long as it needs to be. Sometimes it goes up to 2.5 hours to 3 hours. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer. Sometimes I'm on time for the weekly live stream, and sometimes I'm not. I would say more times I'm not than more times not than am. But that is okay, because I ask for your forgiveness, and hopefully you guys are okay with that. One thing I learned, and just one thing I'll pass on a human level for you guys and for all of us here and now, is that I'm learning that while structure and routine and timing is very important, sometimes the flow of life has to take a better precedent, or it has to take more priority, meaning that if there are more important things that need to happen, or that you need to take care of, or that you need to do, then those are the things that need to be taken care of before anything that is less important or less of a priority or less calling to your life and to your soul in each and every moment. And that's why I believe schedules and timing is a little bit of a blessing and a curse, right? Because sometimes we try to be on time as much as we can, but other times life calls for us to be not on time, because life has its own special timing for everything. And if there's anything I've learned, and if my good friend Eric is watching, he taught me this: you can never, ever beat divine timing. You can never control or speed up divine timing. Things happen when and how they need to happen at exactly the right time in every single moment, in every single one of our lives. And so one of the things I'll ask as we begin here is just to look at each and every single one of your own lives, of our own lives, and the moments that we need to give more of a priority to, more of our energy to. Those moments that are actually good, that are filled with love, that are filled with importance, that are filled with critical moments of joy and understanding and growth. Those are the moments outside of time and outside of schedules and outside of our priorities. Those are the moments we have to give more and more of our hearts to. And sometimes that's the hardest possible thing, because we want to stay in our flow and in our direction and in our focus. But oftentimes life has other priorities that it needs for us to get to first, so that everything we've ever wanted can come to us exactly in the way it was meant to. And that is not an easy thing, but it's one thing I'll share with you guys here and now. So, that being said, let's check in with YouTube. Hopefully you guys can hear me very well. And we got, wow, quite a few people in here. Hello, hello, hello. And Sean, how's it going? Taylor, hello. LA Extra, Pragya, hello, hello. Oh, Pragya, you're so sweet. Green Lemon 52. Yeah, it's interesting. And I won't spend too much time on this, but it's not just me, not being on time, although that's a big part of it. Oftentimes I've found my not being on timeness always ends up putting things directly on time in other ways. And yet Spirit often uses me as an example for that. It's because, because I'm often around people who are very, very strict with time or very, very kind of in the schedule. And here comes Brandon, like whatever he is able to do it. And I've just never really been able to put too much concern or worry into time itself. It just always seems to flow when it needs to flow in every moment. And I like to prioritize where life is drawing you to rather than what you thought you needed to do or to go to. And oftentimes, I'll be honest with you guys, that's kind of the case because, life has been drawing me to a lot of different places that need a lot of my energy and a lot of my importance. And yet I've wanted to, in some ways, keep posting content or have more live streams or just be more present. And I haven't been able to. And so that's frustrating. But one thing I do look forward to is this weekly live stream because I get to see and feel all of you again. And we get to have an amazing channeling session together, which, by the way, would not be possible without each and every single one of your presences here. I'm a projector in human design, and I have a lot of open channels, meaning that the channeling can really truly only occur when in the presence of people who are able to share and donate their energy to be able to be read and to be able to be channeled for. So I do mean it when I say that the channel opens up wider because of all of you guys joining in here and now. So thank you so much for that, because I would not be able to be here where I am and doing what I'm doing without each and every single one of you watching. So thank you, truly. Let's get into some stuff and stop the Brandon ramble. Those of you guys who are new, we do a couple things here. So we open up for the divine, the guides and angels, to speak directly through me, and we give channeled messages of sort. I do sense that they have some channel messages for us today. Then we're going to go into potentially an oracle reading. Spirit's confirming yes, yes, yes. I'm just trying to find out which deck to use. Doesn't feel like the Mystical Shaman. I think we're going to go with the Rumi today. So the Rumi Oracle deck will be used for our soul purpose / soul healing reading. So the order goes channeled messages from the divine first, and that's on a societal level or whatever the divine wants us to know for our highest good in love and in life. The second thing we do is a soul's growth specific oracle channeled reading, meaning this is less to do with love or romantic relationships and the status of it, and more to do with our own personal growth collectively that Spirit wants us to know about energetically so we can have the best possible outcome for ourselves and others and society and the world. That's an important one. And then finally, we go into everyone's favorite, which is the Twin Flame / Love Collective Updates. Now, what this is, it's a very special reading that we've been doing for a long time now that gives us specific updates on the status of love in the world and in society. And what these cards share with me and share with us is where everyone is at. The masculine energy and the feminine energy, where they're each energetically at, how and what lessons they're both going through in order to come together into union collectively. And so what I mean by that is collectively coming into union in love on this planet actually by its very nature raises the frequency and the energy of this earth. It helps to heal. It helps to send and to share more love, more support, more appreciation, more oneness for humanity overall. Love is the greatest possible catalyst to helping us step into our greatest soul purpose, both individually and collectively as a world and as a society. And so that is why we're here, and that is why ultimately we read every week the energies of why this is happening, so we know what lessons are here for the masculine energy and the feminine energy that we need to know about, so we can conquer, we can be victorious around, and we can find the love of our life and be happy with them for the rest of our lives. So let's get into everything. After that, we are definitely going to go through some astrology, and then we're going to go through a Q&A. Boy, oh boy, I'm promising a lot. Let's hope that we can keep going for that long. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the channeled messages here. All right. Guides and angels, loved ones, masters, wise ones, angels and archangels, asking for your presence here now in this very special live stream. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your service as well. Angels and guides through the power of unconditional love, asking for spirit to flow through me to be able to channel for the highest good and healing of everyone watching here now, live, and also in the future, for their highest good and healing through the power of unconditional love. What messages do you have for all of us today that would be helpful on our journeys, or that we need to know for our highest good? The first words I'm hearing is to tell them that they know not what they do. They know not what they do. If there's anyone in your life that you are feeling the need to forgive, that you are feeling the need to let go of, that you are feeling the need to kind of just release in some way, shape, or form, you have to know that they know not what they do. You have to release the energy, the charged energy that you hold against them in your heart, because that is not helping anything. And when you bring compassion and love into the situation, and you know that they know not what they do, you can release the feeling of taking it personally, or like it's a personal vengeance, or it's a personal attack. You can release all of that and know that sometimes people speak through pain. Sometimes people speak through hardship. Sometimes people speak through sadness, fear, and trauma. And when they speak in those ways, they know not what they do. And this doesn't just go for maybe someone significant in your life, but it can go for the rest of the world as well. The rest of the world as well. We have enemies. And when I say we have enemies, I mean we have forces that work through and with people, by the way, on this planet, that are not for all of our highest good, that are more selfish, that are more greedy or ego-oriented. But at some level as well, you must know that they know not what they do. On some level as well, you must know that it's simply a lack of presence or consciousness fully that allows dark energy to seep through their veins, their blood, their soul, their bodies, and corrupt what they do, what they say, and what they think. Now, this doesn't mean that we let them off. This doesn't mean that we let those forces off wherever and however they may be coming through in your life right now. But it does mean that we must know that they know not what they do. They know not what they speak. They know not what they think or feel. The antidote to this is by shining and expressing your light stronger than you ever have before, stronger than you ever could have thought was possible in your own life in every single way. The answer does not lie in striking down your enemies. The answer lies in shining your own lantern upon them. Shining the brightness of your own light upon your enemies. And that is how they will fall. But they won't fall because you are striking them down. They will fall before the light. They will fall before the truth. They will fall before love, and they will fall before forgiveness. But hear me now and hear me strongly. This At the same time, in order to be the warriors of light, we must also be merciless. We must also be merciless with the way that we use the weapon of our light. Meaning that we dim our expression, we dim our light, we dim who we are for no one. Ever. If there is anyone in your life right now, whether it's a boss, whether it's a girlfriend or boyfriend, whether it's a parent, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a friend, if there's anyone in your life that you feel you must dim your own light around because you are in some ways unworthy or too much or going to trigger them, don't dim your light anymore. Don't dim your own expression. Don't dim your own truth. Shine it brighter than you could ever possibly shine it. And that goes for every area of life in which you are feeling that way. It's very, very important. And know that they know not what they do. By doing this, you are doing the work of God. Feel it now. Feel it shine through my soul, through my eyes, into yours. Feel the truth in this, that you are doing here now the work of God. By choosing to shine your light, by choosing to shine as brightly as you can, by choosing to shine in all of the places where there are darkness, where it is scary to shine, you are doing the work of God, and it is appreciated. And by doing this work of God, you will be rewarded beyond your wildest dreams. They also want us to know that we cannot do it alone. As much as we may want to sometimes, we cannot do it alone. We may think sometimes that us as a human being in this human vessel, in this body, that we can do it all on our own. That we don't need anybody. We don't need a significant other. We don't need family. We don't need our mom or dad. We don't need our spirit guides. We don't need the angels. We don't need God. But the truth is we do. The truth is we do. And the reason we need help, the reason we need the other, the reason we need each other is because we are always meant to be one. We were always meant to come together. And we were always meant to have our strength through uniting and coming together. So to say to anyone else, or to feel it in your bones, that you don't need anyone, to not allow yourself that vulnerability and openness to the person or people around you that need you the most, just as much as you need them, they need you, is to keep yourself from the greatest possible experience of human experience, which is the connection of others, the love and the support and the assistance of others in your life path. This is the greatest possible experience that you can have in this human experience. You won't achieve this feeling by being alone your entire life, by playing video games, by traveling to a mountain by yourself and meditating, by having all the fancy cars and the money and the clothes and the things. The truest and deepest, most fulfilling experience in this human experience is the experience of being with others and allowing them to have your back while you have theirs. It's a difficult thing to do sometimes, I must admit. But it's being called on for all of us here and now to allow the other to come into your life and to support you where you need support, as and when it is necessary. You will find peace. You will find peace in yourself through your expression to the other. Those of you who have not found peace in your hearts and in your souls at this moment in time, you will find peace by expressing yourself to the other, whoever that may be in your life. Wherever there's a calling for more openness and more expression and more vulnerability and risk. It may sound or feel counterindicative, but you will find more peace the more that you express yourself to and for the other. So if you're holding anything back inside of your heart and your soul at this time, the ask is for all of us and for you to express that fully, without hesitation, to your other. Is there anything else? That appears to be it for now. Thank you, guides and angels, loved ones, masters. Ooh. Good messages, very deep. All right, let's get into the Lean on Me is a good song. Let's go through. How are you guys doing in the live chat? Oh my gosh. Angels and guides, loved ones, masters, wise ones, angels and archangels. Thank you for your presence and for the channel messages. That was beautiful. We all appreciate it. And now we'd like some channeled specific soul growth messages, meaning that these are going to be messages for you in your individual life that can help you to grow in accordance with the current energies right now. Soul growth lessons that if you take full advantage of this knowledge and these lessons, that you can speed up your growth by a lot. 10 times over. Taylor says, it's a lot, Brandon. I get told that a lot in my life, actually. All right, here we go. Notice I will never hold anything back for you guys, huh? This is the fullest and deepest expression that I could possibly give. All right. Angels and guides, loved ones, masters, wise ones, please channel the oracle messages for our greatest soul lesson and growth here. Star Mother Arrakis. Oh, you know what? Let me show you guys the camera here. Whoops. There we go. Okay. So the first message is interesting. It's telling me we know not also what is being done on the deepest possible levels of existence. Like there's so much that they want to bring our attention to right now going on beneath the surface and beyond what we can visibly see. and experience. They're telling me right now there's tremendous forces at work that are helping to heal each of us energetically on the deepest levels in a way that we may or may not be expecting. That if you were going through physical and bodily changes at this time, energetic changes, shifts in your personality, your way of being, your stature, your posture, the way that your body feels and works, there's a lot that's going on energetically. There's a lot of light forces that are here right now assisting with the transformation of our physical and energetic bodies. And they just want to alert you, if you are going through some weird shifts and changes in your field, in your body, in the way that you see things, in the way that you hear things, in the way that you perceive things, and you don't know what's going on, and you're a little scared and you're a little overwhelmed, I want to just let you know right now, it's actually very, very normal. And what's going on right now is actually planned. They're really confirming that through my body. They're saying, yes, like we are doing a lot of work with you guys right now, more so than ever before, they're saying, this time. And so they're giving me this card to say, well, there's someone that's watching over us. Okay, they're giving me like I'm not sure exactly what the presence is, but I just see this very strong, loving, and nurturing feminine presence that's kind of overseeing all of us as we transition and transform. Very nurturing and loving feminine presence. It's a very feminine-oriented transformation at this time. They emphasized that last week, but they're emphasizing it again. It's really this motherly, I don't know if someone can feel or knows the name of the presence, but there's a motherly presence that's overseeing everything and overwatching this whole thing. And so she just wants us to know that everything's okay. If you're going through this, everything's actually, if you, again, specifically like shifts in the way that you operate, shifts in the way that you feel, shifts in the way that you perceive things, and it's a little overwhelming. They're saying everything's okay. Just know that you are being worked on. Be aware that the fact that you're being worked on for a positive purpose, and you will not look or feel or operate the same. And that can be a lot to take in for a lot of people. They're saying this is why they're saying it can be overwhelming to have such dramatic shifts and changes in your energy occur so quickly that it may be overwhelming for some people. And they just want to say, we know it's a lot. They're saying basically, we know it's a lot happening very fast in every way, energetically in your own vessel. But we also want you to know that we're doing this for a purpose. And the reason we're doing this is to expedite the process so that we have a better opportunity to be able to build Earth in the best of ways, is what they're saying. Okay, good. And there's the dance of the divine feminine. So it's absolutely, I mean, again, I don't know if this is just the times or if this is where these channel readings are going, but absolutely focused in here on the divine feminine transformation. Now, the dance of the divine feminine tells me that this is around fullness and freedom of expression of her wildest, most passionate, beautiful, and sometimes, crazy self. Okay. And I'm saying the feminine alone is crazy because I'm crazy for sure. And everyone's a little crazy in their own way. But I'm laughing when I say that because it's what they're saying with that is it's the parts of herself that she may think is crazy, right? Or that she may have a judgment around thinking, oh, it's crazy or it's too much or people will think I'm insane or blah, 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 blah. And so it's this holding back of that deepest feminine essence because in a lot of ways society as well has looked down upon those things, right? Things like crying, things like being vulnerable, things like sharing really with your open heart and loving and nurturing and motherly and all the things. Like a lot of times society has condescendingly, taken apart or criticized those energies and those moments that the feminine has naturally to her. And so, of course, she's going to be struggling sometimes to be able to express this part of herself because it's never really been welcomed. And I want to say here and now that if you are feminine or you have a feminine energy and you are going through this feeling of being a little trapped in your ability to fully express yourself to everyone around you, including those that you may look up to or you don't want to offend or just anything like that, I would say that this is your time here now to begin, if you haven't already, to begin an even more fullness of emotional, they're saying specifically emotional expression in the ways and to the people that need or are calling you to do so. And this is what I mean by the wild and full and free and uncontrollable feminine energy is you can't really tame that. You can't tame where and how the emotions want to go and what needs to be said and how it needs to be expressed. And the feminine right now is learning, and my advice is to trust in that fullness and freedom of expression wherever your emotions want to go or to take you or to do or to say. Allow that to happen and allow the consequences of which to redirect you and or your partner or everyone around you into the right way, because there is this welling up of emotional expression that wants to occur that will actually be very helpful in those around her, speaking about the feminine, to heal and to realign with their true direction. So feminines, I would say, absolutely, if you are going through this or if you are questioning this or if you're struggling with this, please, please, please feel into your hearts right now. Ask yourself, where can I even more fully and deeply and openly express these parts of myself, and to whom, more importantly? Because whoever is not allowing themselves, or you're not allowing yourself to give the fullness of expression to, there's a restriction of the flow of what needs to happen in that situation, whether it's in love, whether it's at work, whether it's in family. Whenever there's restriction of energetic output, there's also restriction in on the shifts that the universe can take or make because of the output of that energy. Does that make sense? So the feminine directs the feminine. Let me say this as clear as I can. The feminine directs life, or the feminine directs life through her emotional expression fully. The only healing, hear me now. The main, we talk about what feminine healing is needed. The only healing that the feminine ever needs to go through or ever needs to have, it's very simple, is around her ability to fully, at all times, in every way, express her true desires, her true emotions, her true feelings. The only like if the feminine were to just focus on that goal and look at her healing as a scale, right? I'm doing this in a very masculine way, but they're being specific about this, is like, if we were to take the feminine healing process and just give a roadmap for how to do it, the only thing that the feminine energy needs to worry about or be concerned about, not even worry about, but like to focus on, is how well she can at all times fully and freely express her deepest truths and emotions to those around her. Because the only things that, traumas or pains or a lack of progress would do would restrict her from that. And this is her greatest superpower, and this is her greatest ability to direct life around her through the output of these emotions and expressions. Right? The masculine focuses and chooses a direction. But when that direction is off, it is the feminine's duty to release any of the stored expressions she has inside of her to help the masculine to redirect. So people think that it's just the masculine that chooses direction and then off they go, right? The masculine has the final say. No. The masculine, yes, chooses and moves into a direction, but the feminine has to also then fully and freely at every moment in time express how she feels about every situation and that direction, which will then allow the masculine to redirect himself and themselves as necessary. So this is how the partnership works. A healthy masculine-feminine dynamic will work by the masculine saying, we're going to go this way because I see the good waters over there. I see a life over there. I see safety over there. I see abundance over there. We're going to go this way. But how do you feel about that? Well, that's amazing. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Let's go. Boom, they go. Or I'm going to go this way. How do you feel about that? Oh, I think that's fucking stupid. I think you're an idiot for doing that. And blah, 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 blah. She may think that this is critical, which it is in some ways, but it is also essential. And I'm not saying to be an asshole about it. But what I am saying is it's that brutal emotional honesty that does help to redirect the masculine and the feminine's direction together. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. I don't know why we spent so long on that, but hopefully that makes good sense. Okay. Let's go a few more. So now we have I surge on the uprising wave of love. Wow. Commitment. Oh, here we go with the masculine. Okay. Oh, we want to talk about the feminine. Now we got to talk about the masculine. All right. Let me do two more here. Oh, my goodness. One, from nothing to everything. And last one, merciful Mother Jamal. So there's definitely a motherly presence overseeing all of this. But look at these cards. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. We have from nothing to everything. We have commitment, which, by the way, this commitment card, we've been using this deck for a long time. I've never seen this commitment card. I surge on the uprising wave of love, and we have one as well. All right, let me start on this right side here. Okay, so this goes hand in hand because so what's being asked of the feminine is that fullness and freedom of expression, but also within that is coming from love. So we have to know this. So if one of the things that will help with the fullness and freedom of expression is knowing from the feminine that it comes from love. Every single piece of it, as critical as it may sound, or as harsh as it may sound, or blunt as it may sound, it all comes from love, because ultimately the feminine wishes to redirect the world into the proper direction through the truth of her emotional well-being at all times and her safety and security. Now, because this comes out from the feminine and it comes from love, it allows the masculine an even greater surge of energy and love for which to create and build his own purpose, his own life, and his greatest well-being. This is how the partnership or dynamic works. She gets the safety and security for fullness and freedom of expression. He gets the energetic reciprocation and assistance to be able to go and do all the great things that he's going to do. So it's a beautiful partnership here. So this is the opportunity from the dance of the feminine to be able to help both, but also help the masculine to rise and to utilize this wave of love to go and finish out the things he needs to finish out successfully and confidently and with strength and purpose, so that he can then become stronger, wiser, better, and more secure for his feminine. And then commitment here as well. All right, so part of the ask of the masculine right now, okay, for those masculines that are watching, but also so the feminine knows, because this isn't just about feminines, it's about masculines. And if you know what's going on with the masculine and you're a feminine, it's going to be better, and vice versa. But part of the ask of the masculines is to not take this for granted and to see all that the feminine is giving to him all the time through her expression, through her honesty, through her emotions. This is a gift that should never be squandered, ever. And the more wild, the more free, the more feminine it is, the more powerful it is as well. And so the masculine may have a way of looking at this and thinking down of it, or disregarding it, or not seeing its worth and its value and its truth. And to that I say, stop that, because it is very, very valuable. It is powerful, and it is the right thing to happen to help us, to help the masculine redirect his path. Now, the other thing that the masculine has to feel right now is that in order to receive this beautiful, amazing, assisting energy from the feminine, he must also be willing to commit to her through all of it. Because guess what? The feminine cannot feel safe and secure enough to share freely, openly, and honestly unless he has, and very solidly so, announced and stands in his commitment to the cause, to the purpose, and to her as well. So the masculines may on some level be questioning commitment or considering commitment or wondering what the next step would be in order to secure everything. And that is, and there's no getting around it, this is Saturn energy. This is commitment. This is strength. This is firmness. And this is direction. So the lesson for the feminine is to allow her emotional expression to be felt, to be heard, to be seen, to be noticed as much as possible. The lesson here for the masculine is to not take that feminine energy for granted in any way, and to be willing to commit to it in order to allow more of that expression to come forth, which will only aid him in his journey and his mission. Okay? These are the two lessons going on right now. On the left side, we have one, which is talking about more, yes, it could be talking about twin flames. They're saying that's included, but they're really talking more about what was channeled earlier, which is that we are all coming together, and that the best thing we can do is not keep each other away. The best thing we can do is not keep each other away from ourselves. Anything that would allow you to be more connected, more in tune, more open to another person is the way forward. Anything that separates you or disconnects you or causes energetic space of some sort between you and another or other people around you is not the way forward. This is backwards. Although this may occur, speaking specifically about this energetic space between two people, although this may occur spontaneously and at certain points within the merging, is what they're calling it, the way forward and the way to know you're making progress is by continued momentum and movement and efforts towards merging together. Okay? I know this is broad terms, and because this can be applied to a lot of different areas, family, friends, authority figures, things like that. If you are in situations in your life where there is a lot of turbulence or disconnection or anything like that, the best thing you can do is do your best to continue working your way together. That's the best thing you can do in every single situation. And if that's not allowed to happen, or if the other person that you're attempting to do this with is not on board with continuing to do that, despite the turbulences that you may go through in life. And yes, they're using the word turbulence, like in a plane when you shudder a little bit. There's a little bit of turbulence going on in the merging. And this is normal. This is all part of the process. So long as you continue to overall continue moving forward together, this is the right path. This means you're on the right path. Okay. However, if you are trying and going through turbulence and you are just not able to continue working towards one another because of some reason, this is also a sign to depart and to not look back as well. Okay. So the only thing wrong that any of us can do is give up on the other in terms of not choosing to continue working to come closer together, so long as they are also doing the same thing. That is the only wrong thing we can do, is making a choice to say, you know what, this is too hard, this is too much, it's not worth it, I'm just going to not even try to continue working together because it's pointless. That's the only thing that we can do to mess this up. As long as we continue working to come together and to continue merging in every way, as families, as friends, as a society, as a world, as partners in relationship, we're going the right direction. Now, from nothing to everything, should this be allowed to occur through the turbulences that we're experiencing now, you will experience something that turns into more than you can possibly even fathom in this moment. Let me just repeat that because this is kind of a broad message, but they're saying, should you be able to continue to work through the turbulences that we are experiencing right now in love, in relationship, in family, in work, should you continue to work through those turbulences and continue to work through to coming together and to merge as well with the other, you will and we will experience the likes of which we cannot even fathom or imagine in this moment. It will be so blissful, it will be so amazing, it will be so expansive, and it will be so spontaneously wonderful that we cannot even imagine it at this time, from nothing to everything. So the message here is to keep working, to keep going through the turbulences, to not give up, to not say no, to say yes. I know it's hard, I know it's a lot, I know it's overwhelming, but I am going to keep going through it. I'm going to keep coming together. I'm going to keep healing. I'm going to keep being vulnerable. I'm going to keep expressing myself. I'm going to keep on going because I have faith and I trust that where I'm being led, who I'm being led to, and the work I'm being called to do through that process is exactly where I need to be and will lead to the greatest experience of our lifetime. And not only that, but will heal and raise the frequency of the earth in a way that's necessary so we can build a new world. Last message here from Merciful Mother Jamal is to have mercy. To have mercy. Specifically to those, let me be very specific. To have mercy specifically to those who are trying their best, but may at times stumble, may at times fail, may at times say, do, or speak or express the wrong thing, but they are trying, they are in it, they are working, they are committed. It's to have mercy specifically upon those people. To have mercy, to have compassion, and most importantly, to have forgiveness. And they are differentiating this specifically because your mercy can only go so far, right? Your mercy, our mercy can only go so far and be given to so many people at one time. Because when we give it to the wrong people, when we give our mercy or our forgiveness to people who don't deserve it, to people who have wronged us and continue to wrong us and are not sorry and do not want to work towards coming together, when we give our mercy, our continued mercy to those people, it actually hurts us and it detracts us as well. Only certain people deserve our mercy because it is a powerful, powerful thing. And so the message here is to choose carefully to whom you give your mercy to. Mercy is a sign of deep trust. It means that you are trusting the other with your heart and with your soul and with your openness, that they will not hurt you on purpose. They will not take advantage of your energy. They will not do anything to make you suffer or regret your decision. Because if you give that to the wrong person, you are destroying yourself. And there are many people out there. There are many people out there who will take full advantage of your mercy. And the other message is to identify who that may be in your life. If you are coming across people that do not deserve any more of your mercy that you have given all of it to, who are those people in your life and our lives that we can say no more mercy to? Because we deserve to give our mercy and our love to people who deserve it. And this is a sign right here and right now to cut those people out for good. but have mercy to the rest. Please have mercy to the rest. Anything else, Spirit, that you have? Okay. That was our channeled soul growth messages. Hope it helped you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. And we're going to be going right into the Twin Flame updates. Wow. I love it. We're just going back to back to back. Let me take just a sip of water, and we're back with the milk and coffee. How are you guys feeling? How are the messages? Let me give like 2 seconds here for us to just integrate what was just said. So if you guys have anything you want to share. Taylor, thank you so much for that. Sharon says, those things are simple enough. It's when they continually repeat the same damaging behaviors I'm having problems with. Sure, fair enough. I've only given mercy to my husband. I believe he's taking advantage of it. So do I just leave him? He is my husband, not just a boyfriend. That's a tough and very personal question, Sharon. And I'm not sure what to tell you. But what I can say is, with these messages that are coming forth, because I do my best, and this isn't an egotistical thing, I hope, but I do my best to keep these messages very objective, very clear, very clean. They're not coming from my personal experiences, although oftentimes as I say them, they do match up with my personal experiences, funny enough. So you'll see me smile when I hear something that applies to me. You'll know. But the purpose of these messages channeled, and the purpose that they've always had, is so that you guys can take these words, take these emotions, take these feelings and messages, and apply them to your own life, and energetically fit them in to see where they may apply, so you can make those changes. Right? For example, Sharon, just as an example, if your husband is one of those people who you are trying to get closer with, trying to work things through, and he's just not on board with trying to come closer. In fact, everything he does is about separating and pulling away. Then yeah, I would say despite the fact that he's your husband, there might be something to consider there. I'm not saying to do either thing. I'm just saying don't allow the fact that he is your husband in a physical form to prevent you from making the changes you need to make you happy. And for all those people who are married out there who feel like that marriage or that union is not the one that is most serving you at this time in every single way, please do not allow the act of physical union or physical marriage to prevent you from making the changes that you need to make you fulfilled. And I want to share something very special with you guys that I haven't shared publicly yet. But there are 2 types of marriage that God has showed me. And yes, God has been speaking to me occasionally. I'm not a religious man, but I apparently do speak with God sometimes. And one thing he showed me is marriage in the way we know it has never been what it actually is. It's never been what he actually intended, meaning God. What God means by marriage is a spiritual union, an energetic union, a heart and soul union between 2 compatible other halves. The same flesh, the same blood, the same bone. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. These 2 will be wed. This is a spiritual union. It was never meant to be a contract on paper that we signed in real life. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, by the way, but I'm saying if you married someone in human 3D life that is not really your spiritual partner or your spiritual union, then it was never actually in alignment with the energy of what marriage was always meant to be anyways. You see that? It's the spiritual union of energies that happens first. And then we can write the piece of paper and confirm that we've been wed. But God truly is the one who marries souls together. God. We think we get to choose. And we do, to some extent. But in reality, we're just saying yes. We're just using our free will to say yes to the partner that God has already preordained us to be with. Maybe some of us are skeptical about that, but I do truly believe, and the whole purpose of this channel has been to identify that in every lifetime, and in this lifetime, there is your other half waiting for you. And you will know exactly when you meet this intended other half. Because when it's done right, God will be in that relationship, and God will be in that union, and God will help to bring you together rather than push you apart. So I believe that God is redefining the definition of marriage through us. And part of that means that some of us may have to break away, speaking in 11:11 playbacks, some of us may have to break away from marriages that were not with whom God intended in order to be united with the other you and to have spiritual union here on earth. So it is a time to evaluate whether or not you feel, married or not, that the person you are with is your other half, is the flesh of your flesh, is the blood of your blood, is the bone of my bone. And if not, then that person is waiting. So that's what I'll say to that. It's called Science of the Soul and Stars, by the way, my YouTube channel, if you guys want to hop on. Sky, you are so darn generous. Thank you so much for your donation. I really appreciate that. Sharon, I just want to say thank you for sharing. Whatever you decide, just want to let you know you are very, very brave. And as long as you choose what is true for you, we all appreciate it because it is helping all of us. Because as you make these brave decisions that are more in alignment with your truth and your heart, it allows more people to do that as well. So thank you. Okay, well, let's get into the twin flame updates. After all that. You guys ready for that? Thank you guys for the donations on TikTok and on YouTube. That was very generous, Sky. And TikTok, you guys are always so generous. Thank you so much. I know I don't shout you guys out as much during these live streams, but I just want to let you know I have appreciation and love for you too. And that's why we do the TikTok after party. So I show you guys some additional love. Okay. Angels and guides, loved ones, masters, wise ones, angels and archangels, please. Messages for... Whew, that was a good neck crack. Messages for the Twin Flame Union, the Twin Flame updates, as well as the Love Collective. This does not have to mean that you are in a twin flame situation. In fact, you may be with a soulmate. You may be considering being with a soulmate, and you may also be in a twin flame situation. These are love updates generally. They will apply to the masculine and feminine generally, regardless if you are in a twin flame situation. They will also apply. Okay. Also, they could apply energetically to different areas of your guys' lives. So they may not necessarily apply to love, but maybe they'll apply to family. They'll apply to work. They'll apply to friendships, right? These are simply energies, and it's up for all of us to interpret them in the way that they're applying in each of our own individual lives, okay? All right, angels and guides, loved ones, masters, wise ones, angels and archangels, Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, thank you for being here. Wow. Archangel Michael, thank you. We got the whole crew here. Metatron is here as well. Wow. Okay. Big messages here. Good. All right. Messages for love and life, the highest good and healing, twin flame updates, whatever we need to know. Page of Wands. Excitement and curiosity is abound, they're saying. It's plentiful, it's bountiful. Excitement and curiosity over something new. Excitement and curiosity over something new is abounds. Let this excitement and curiosity lead you to new horizons. If there's an excitement and curiosity present within and about a certain person, if they are constantly keeping you on your feet, making things exciting, making things spontaneous, making things new, making things a little difficult sometimes, this is a good thing. Allow this excitement, allow spontaneity, allow all of this to lead you to new horizons. They're saying specifically to follow that area in your life where there is the most excitement, spontaneity, curiosity, newness, and adventure. To wholeheartedly follow and allow for that energy, that direction to lead you to your next space. It's very important at this time to have a curious and open mind when it comes to new things happening and coming in and coming through all of our lives. This is the dominant energy right now in relationships, in twin flame situations, in the love collective. And even if you are in a relationship, right? Look for the area where there is the most new, exciting possibilities and be open to all of it. That's what they're saying. It should be new. It should be fresh. It should be exciting. It should be spontaneous. If it's not, something is not fully in alignment in that specific area. Yeah. Okay. This is where the current wave of energies is taking us. Okay. So the reason why I say these things is so you can, again, identify what areas of life may be in alignment with that and which ones are not. Okay. So you can make these changes. So basically they're saying, whatever area in your life has become stagnant, has become predictable, has become just not enjoyable anymore, where there's no adventure, there's no curiosity, like let that part go. Even if it means something significant to you, let that part go or let that part be dormant for a while and follow the new spark that comes in. Follow the new direction that comes in, away from the old, away from the status quo in your life and into something new, a new adventure. The Hermit. Now, the one thing, and I'm going to sense that this is for the feminine right now, okay? The one thing that could hinder, the one thing that can hinder this move into the new direction of where life wants to take all of us, and specifically for the feminine, is over spilled cups from her past that did not go in the way that she was hoping when she did put that trust, when she did follow that spark, that curiosity, that sense of adventure in life, and things did not go well. This is the trauma that is preventing her from following that spark of where life wants to take her. Okay. So the question here and the direction for the feminine specifically is, what pain points, failures, traumas, and events that happened in your past, that happened after you allowed full trust and spontaneity in your life to allow life to take you wherever it wanted to go, that resulted in some very intensive sadness and pain. How are those things still affecting your ability to make decisions now? Because there may be these specific traumas that are preventing the adventure of life and where it wants to take you from taking you fully. This may be the only the only thing. Thus, it is a time, Hermit with the High Priestess, specifically again for the feminine. But again, if this applies to you as a masculine, great. But I am getting that this is a feminine message. The Hermit is your number one card with the High Priestess. It's time to be with yourself for a little bit. Just be honest with you. Like, please take some time for yourself. Please. There is a massive amount of upgrades coming. A massive amount. There's a lot that's here to download, to integrate, to transform into, to spiritually and emotionally and even physically go through. So please, the first message is feminines, they're even telling me like a trip, honestly. They're saying like a mini trip, like a solo trip. Like if you have a place that pops up into your mind right now, is like, I can just go escape for a day or something like that, go do that. That's what they're actually saying a lot. This isn't just kind of, curled up in a ball in the same space. It's like being with yourself and allowing for a little spontaneous adventure in your own life, in your own way. Like reopening yourself to the adventure and the spark and the adventure of life is what they're saying here. This is part of what they would want. Okay, so the feminine's being called to heal some of these past traumas by allowing herself to be reopened to the spark or adventure or possibility of life that she always wanted but never could have because of imminent failure. They're saying failure. These possibilities are now showing themselves here now into our lives, into your life, but real this time. So there's something here from your past, is what I'm trying to say. Something here for the past of the divine feminine that wants to be and needs to be healed to allow for the fullness of this adventure to come into her heart once again. Yes. Something that you've always wanted, or something that you really did want, like something you really desired, like it was a dream come true actually. Like what was the thing in your past? Here's a question for all of us. What was the thing in your past that was and is a dream come true that didn't happen or failed or went horribly wrong, that then closed you off to the possibility of that ever occurring in the best way ever again? And yes, that was a channeled question. Okay. But this is what they would like to look at. Okay. Seven of Wands with the Knight of Pentacles here. One thing I'm getting with the feminine energy too, there's a lot that she's like battling or like trying to do to kind of get things together, right? Like there's a lot, Knight of Pentacles with the Seven of Wands. It just shows that she, outside of this, what we just talked about, in real life and regular life, there's a lot that she is feeling or thinking or needing to do in order to prepare herself and her family that may prevent her ability to spend enough time, to spend adequate time and energy within herself. So I can see, because this is energy and effort being given to everyone else outside of her, when in reality, it is the very strong message to just give to yourself right now. Like, this is essential. Like, to every feminine watching right now, I just want to point out how essential this is. Like, I don't care what you may feel it will do to others around you, or what they'll say, what they'll think. Like, the feminine needs time and space for yourself, okay? So you can't worry about hurting others or offending others or making others worry. You can't worry about what others will think or say. You've got to be willing to prioritize this time for you right now. You've got to. It is essential, they're saying. Okay? So we all know that there's a lot of energy you're giving out, that you're doing, that you're preparing, that you're, making sure is okay and good. We know that. We appreciate it. But we need you to be with yourself. Okay. Four of Wands. Twin flame card. Beautiful. Ten of Swords right in the middle. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Actually want to just gonna, there we go, raise this up a little bit so you guys can see the cards. That's better. Four of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune. This reflection, by the way, 144 people on TikTok. If Shaylee's watching, she knows this is a twin flame number. Also, 144,000 of God's servants here on the earth right now. According to the Bible, which I randomly turned to in my Bible, which I haven't read, he sent 144,000 of us that will have his mark to do his work. So there's a lot of us. But it also matches up with some of the twin flame channelings that my good friend Shaylee knows more about. Four of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune. The main purpose of the feminine being with herself now and taking this time out is to truly imagine and see in her own heart and soul what she sees in love, specifically for herself. What does she truly desire? What do you truly desire? Do you desire a home? Do you desire a life of travel? Do you want to work? Do you want to continue building your business? Do you want to have children? How many? What do you see? What do you want? What is your greatest and deepest, truest heart desire if you were being honest with yourself? Okay? Because whatever you see and feel and envision is for you. Wheel of Fortune is here with the High Priestess, meaning that the feminine, by doing this process, will literally create her own reality manifest. This is what they are saying right now. The feminine only needs to really envision this. That's it. Like, to see it, to feel it. The type of house, the type of car, the type of person if you're not with them already. The lifestyle. If she feels and imagines and sees this in accordance with her truest desires, if she's being fully honest with herself, will indeed help to manifest and to create this in alignment with her future and her destiny. But they're saying specifically that she is creating this specifically in this department. The feminine energy, as she does this work, is literally creating it as she goes. Because right now what they're showing me with this Wheel of Fortune card and the third, in the, whatever, in the ether and my third eye, like whatever, they're showing me a different vision while I'm speaking. This often happens. It's a little distracting. But they're showing me that right now it's a blank canvas. And she may feel like she's not able to influence this. But in reality, she's actually the one creating it. Like, let me just be very clear. If there's any illusion around who is actually creating reality within the masculine and feminine dynamic, it is the feminine, not the masculine. The feminine provides the canvas or paints the canvas, and the masculine directs them through and on that canvas. You guys see that? So if she wants something new or different, all she must do is feel and express what is in her heart out into the world and to herself and to her masculine if she has one. And then the masculine will help lead the way through that canvas. So most people will assume it's the opposite, or will assume that the feminine has no power to choose the way or to direct the way or to call the shots. Yes, the masculine will ultimately, in a healthy dynamic, lead, right? Choose and lead. But his choice and his leadership in union is always in conjunction with the feminine, with the allowance and the acceptance of the feminine, right? With the permission of the feminine too, in some ways. You could tell my ego doesn't like that. Happy wife, happy life, right? But she is also at the same time creating that very reality for which they are being led through by the masculine. So this is, by the way, I mean, I've known some concepts like this, but this is really fresh and new channeled information about how to navigate these types of things. The feminine has an important role. So anyways, to simplify it, the only task right now that's being asked for the feminine, there's a lot of things being asked, but it's to just allow, really, and to get clear and to express with clarity what she wants. That's it. If you could choose feminines, whatever the heck you wanted to experience and to create with or without a partner, but especially with the partner, it is the time now to get clear on that and to express that and to hold nothing back. And that is what it will be. Okay. Sky's the limit. No pun intended, Sky. Sky Meadow. All right, 10 of Swords here with the 5 of Cups and the Page of Wands. Yeah. This is, it's very strongly speaking, it's right here in the middle, to look at where it went dead. Okay? Where in life did they're saying it go dead, energetically speaking, that robbed you of the experience or the dream that you had at one time that was innocent, curious, and playful and spontaneous? Where in your life did that die that caused so much traumatic pain and memories that it affects your well-being even today? There's an old part of all of us listening. But again, I will say specifically with the feminine here, that is still hanging on by a thread. Apologies for the camera. We'll switch to the other view. And that part are the dead or deceased parts that still hang on from the scars of the past. This is what they're showing me. They're showing me the feminine energy, and there's this little scar around her energy, like parts of her, right? Like shelled over or deceased or kind of non-useful parts, like scabs, right? And it's like a dead energy. And the dead energy comes from the weight of what she's carried from her past, okay? And so what's happening literally as I'm channeling this, I'm seeing it happen. It's like a rebirth energetically. It's like a rebirth of her energy without the scars. It's like I'm seeing her bust open out of this cocoon and really open herself in a whole new way, like being reborn. It's really what feels like what's happening. But again, it may be painful, it may be scary, and it may feel like you're losing a part of yourself, feminines. This is what they're saying. They're saying it may feel like you are actually losing a part of you through this process, but it's only the parts of you that are dead and need to be ripped away, that no longer serve you. Okay? But it is happening. It will feel a bit, intense and like a death of sorts for the feminine right now. Big time. 10 of Swords in the middle of the spread. I mean, that's significant. Being vulnerable and trusting again. Yes, I totally agree, Madeline. 9 of Cups here and the 8 of Pentacles. Forgive me, okay? Because they're going to be blunt. And the message that comes through is stop fighting away your own wish fulfillment. For the feminine energy. And this could apply to the masculine too. This could be universal. But again, for some reason, they're directing it towards the feminine. And I hope everyone knows this isn't just like, please, I hope you don't feel criticized or judged. I'm just following the instructions here. I'm not saying these things because I'm trying to attack the feminine energy in any way. In fact, I honor the feminine energy with everything I have. So just know that. And I just don't want you guys to think I'm just ignoring the masculine issues, because we definitely have a lot of things too. But they are focusing on the feminine, and they're using me to talk about that. So that's why I'm saying all these things. Anyways, they're saying stop fighting away. They're saying, why are you fighting away your own wish fulfillment? Like the battle that's going on, the 7 of Wands here with the 9 of Cups is around the actions she feels she needs to take to defend herself, but the defense that she's putting up is actually towards her wish fulfillment, as opposed to anything that would actually endanger her or her life. Okay. Again, this is not a blame or a judgment, because the reason why they're saying is because the feminine has had to battle so long with her own, with those that were not right for her, right? Those who did not have her best interests in mind and heart, those who would seek to take advantage of her love and her emotions and her energy. And so, of course, she is used to fighting this away, or doing everything she can to keep it away. But what I'm hearing now is it's actually what you're fighting away, or what you feel you're fighting against, is your wish fulfillment. It's your actual wish fulfillment. So I would say to take a careful observation of anything you may feel like you are fighting against, because it may result in you pushing away or fighting against what you actually have always desired. Okay. There may also be a need, okay, in some ways. I was reading on TikTok, right? God will always provide, and I agree with that. In the feminine's life, there may also be a need to surrender to having another provide and assist with providing. There may be a more fullness, or a higher need to surrender to that, is what I'm hearing. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean a significant other or anything like that, but there may be a need to surrender to allowing those who wish and desire to provide, so that the plates can be set. That's what they're saying, interestingly. The plates can be separated and set, meaning each role or dynamic does their own part in continuing progress forward. So essentially what this is saying is, if the need to have money or to provide or to give this energy from the feminine is taking away from her ability to heal and to be with herself and to envision what she wants, then there might be a need to allow someone else to take over some of those areas, if that is available. And yes, it could be God as well, by the way. Someone said God. And this may be difficult, and it's also scary because, as someone very close to me told me, the having money or having income or having work, not just for the masculine but for the feminine, like for anyone, is a way of being independent and being free and not having to depend fully on someone else, and to have the freedom to escape if you need to, right? It's always wise to have a backup plan. However, at this particular time, while I don't necessarily disagree with that, at this particular time, the need to think or feel that you need to provide more or to work or to have money is taking away from other aspects of work that will be much more effective in changing or transforming your life and the life of a relationship if you were in a relationship. Okay? So this may also be something. And it's also just part of surrendering to your wish fulfillment, right? Yeah. So if you have that opportunity to let someone else provide, and they are desiring to do that so that you can do other types of work, please allow that in. I know it's not easy and it will take surrender, but it will help nonetheless. Remember, when we spoke about earlier, the role of the feminine, right, is to create that beautiful canvas. It's a very important role. But if the feminine's too busy trying to work to like provide money, and she isn't able to be with herself and do this beautiful creation of the life that she and her future partner or current partner want, then it's taking away from that ability to create. Right? Okay. Let me see if we can go back to the camera. Boom. Okay. 5 of Swords, the Queen of Swords, my favorite cards. 9 of Wands. Yeah, look at this. 3 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands. I feel an energy here, right? Queen of Swords with the 9 of Wands. It's almost like Queen of Swords energy coming from the feminine has caused someone to be hesitant or to pull away or to kind of look at the situation differently because of something that the feminine may have done or feminine energy may have done to offend or to separate or to hurt. Okay? From her own hurt, right? Because we see here 5 of Swords, someone walking away, pissed off. Queen of Swords, and then we see 9 of Wands, this person looking woefully back at the Queen of Swords energy and saying, oh, let me reevaluate the situation because something didn't feel good. Something didn't feel right. So there may be this energy too that through the feminine's pain or hurt or traumas that she may have lashed out in some way that caused hurt or caused a distance or caused reevaluation from another. And the purpose of this, because there is a purpose for everything, if you are experiencing this in your life, is to learn to work better together. 5 of Wands with the 3 of Pentacles. We have partnership and collaboration with conflict. How can people get things done together if they are not willing to have conflict within their collaboration? How can, let me repeat, people, partners, relationships, families get things done together if they are not willing to have conflict through their collaboration? This is essential. And it is essential because conflict means that either parties, one or both parties, is willing to say and express things that may cause disruption, may cause triggering, may cause anger or conflict. But this means that they are not holding back any of their truth towards the other. And it is only through the fullness and freedom of expression of the truth together in collaboration that partnerships can move forward and cause and find a common direction that is better than where they were. So if you are experiencing conflict in your life, either in your romantic situation, in your family, in your work situation, in friendships, because of something that occurred, maybe because of something that occurred through defense systems or trauma that caused someone to be upset, you must know that this is in some ways a test given from the universe in order to create a stronger foundation within the relationship itself. Because every time there is resolution and effort and progress after conflict, the bond and the foundation becomes even more sturdy. So the point here is, if this has happened or if you are experiencing this, don't shy away from it. Don't say, oh, woe is me, it's never going to be better, or it was a horrible thing. It's a good thing. Every strong relationship is built through mediated and loving conflict. Okay? So please don't look, and please stop looking at conflict as a bad thing, because it is not. In fact, I would say, to a degree, the more healthy conflict there is within a relationship or partnerships of any kind, the healthier potentially it has the ability to be. Nine of Swords, Four of Pentacles, and the World. There's a greater purpose that exists beyond the daily routines and the job. And the way of providing you have at this moment. There's a greater purpose beyond. There's a greater purpose beyond for every single one of us. The job, the daily routines, the way of providing that we have in our own life here and now. There's something greater occurring that goes beyond those things, beyond a job, beyond a career, beyond a piece of work or responsibility that we thought was our entire world just beforehand. That will mean nothing. That will mean nothing comparatively to what is happening beyond within the world and society. If you are concerned in any way, shape, or form, or overly concerned, or overly scared, or overly anxious around a job or a routine or a business or a way of finding income. It's a calling and a sign to look beyond that thing that has consumed much of your attention and focus over the years, to look at something deeper and greater beyond that thing that can give you a sense of purpose and meaning for the rest of your life within the world. If you are going through fears, traumas, anxieties, or things are happening around money, things are happening around a job, things are happening around business, sales, transitions, it's so you can get connected to the greater sense of purpose, of the things that are happening here and now in our world today and our society. If you have space and time to do this, this is the time to do it. This is the time to find out why you are truly here, what you are here to do, who you are here to be, and how you want and how you are here to serve society and the world overall. It was never about just having a job or never about just having income. Those things are very important, and we still must be provided for. We still must have money and resources and things like that. That's very important. But when it gets to the point where it is all consuming of all of our energy and our time, our purpose and our attention for who we are, that is when it is time to look beyond to the greater world that we live in and what's happening and how we fit in with that greater reality and that greater vision of how we want it to be for the future, and what role we will all play, and each of you and each of us and I individually in that world. And if you're unsure of how to do this, it is simply a matter of getting connected to the deepest parts of you, your soul, and asking and having a conversation with your soul about who you want to be and how you want to serve and how you were meant to serve in this new world that we are all creating and in this crazy world we're living in right now. So the message specifically, randomly outside of the whole twin flame dynamic, it's connected for sure, but the message specifically is, don't worry if you are facing separation or fears of money or job loss or just not having enough money. I know that it's hard to not worry about those things because we all have bills to pay. But as long as you continue doing your spiritual and emotional work and you continue surrendering and having faith and trusting in God to provide, you will always be provided for. You will always find your true purpose, and you will always have what you need to thrive and to impact others. So it is truly time to look beyond the things that previously consumed all of our time, attention, and energy to see where and how we are truly being called to serve in this new world. And that will give you direction, purpose, and grounding and stability as you step forth into the new direction of your life. Godspeed. Godspeed. 3 final advice cards to wrap this up. Whoa. There's the Queen of Cups. Making an appearance, the Divine Feminine herself. Popping out. You can see here, right? The 9 of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. This person here, by the way, and this could be a masculine figure, having faced intensive Queen of Swords energy in his past that tore him down, he may be apprehensive of this trauma of being torn down through and because of Queen of Swords energy from his past. And so any semblance of that energy may scare the crap out of him. He belongs with his true Queen of Cups. And he must know, the masculine must know, that she is not that. She is this. So this is also part of his growth lessons, is trusting that the feminine energy at this time is truly coming from a place of the Queen of Hearts. I'm sorry, Queen of Hearts. Queen of Cups. I like that though. And not from Queen of Swords energy, from which he may have been traumatized. So he must also be willing to put his guard down and to receive her cup of love. And that is also scary, gentlemen. Masculines. But we must be willing to be brave and to open our hearts to receive that. Even though our past may have resulted in disaster and pain. It's about strength and courage on both parties, masculine and feminine. But the strength comes from opening to receive and to let our guards down rather than fighting. Final advice cards here, and to wrap up this reading. Beautiful reading, guides and angels. Thank you so much for everything. Page of Pentacles. The King of Cups. And the Magician. And the Lovers. Beautiful, beautiful reading. Wow. I mean, wow. Okay. Wow. Page of Pentacles with the King of Cups, with the Magician. There may be some sort of apology that the feminine wants to share with the masculine. Okay. This Queen of Cups energy. Some type of offering, some type of token of appreciation, some type of token of her trust and her gratitude. Okay. Because you could see here the King of Cups is looking in a different direction in the Page of Pentacles here with the Queen of Cups. Offering something to him. And this is where both parties again must be open to receiving the love that each wants to share with one another fully and openly, because the Magician is here as well. So the token of trust here really must be and is that it's really about trust and allowing the masculine to lead and be successful in the way he desires. And that she is also willing to support him in that, and he is willing to hold her through all of that as well and support her in many other ways. He may be receiving this from the feminine now. In order to support his ongoing mission and work. And this may be new or foreign to him as well. Potentially scary. But it can and must be trusted at this time, are the words that I'm hearing. Okay. This is the quote-unquote leap of faith energy that they are asking for right now on both sides. One, for the masculine to accept this offering, this token, this peace, whether it's of forgiveness or whether it's of her trust or whether it's of her energy or her loyalty, he must be willing to accept this fully, and she must be willing as well to help him to work through any of the pains and traumas that he's experienced around receiving this love into his heart as well. This will help both. This will help both. It's a beautiful dynamic where I see it's a little switched, where the feminine is now giving, right? The feminine is now giving a different type of support or cup or love to the masculine. And so it's a little different than the normal dynamic where the masculine's giving to the feminine, and that is still happening, right? But they're giving to each other. But the way in which the feminine is giving to the masculine is through her heart to his heart, in that love and that support and that unconditionally loving space. And they're saying this is, though, like this is the current process of what's happening within the collective, and what is being asked on both parties, because there's being asked, on both sides of it here. But this is, right? Like, it was always meant to be this Queen and King of Cups. Those who come together through the heart space specifically, not through anything else, not through lust, not through physical attraction only, not even through, a prior friendship. But those who are connected through the heart space specifically were always the ones that were meant to be married, spiritually and otherwise, by God. The lovers. So if you have found this person where it is a heart-centered, where your heart opens and beams and shines and connects with theirs in a way that you may have never experienced before, this is the person with which to endure and to persist and to navigate through the turbulences here and now and in the future, to build and envision a life together. So it is now currently in the process of formulating itself so that a whole new life can occur. Have faith, have faith, have faith. That's what they're saying. Okay. And that's it for today in terms of the love reading. Let's go ahead and look back at, I wish, I don't know if the camera's actually crooked. Wow, I did that at 2:12. All right, how you guys doing? Let's head into, let me see if we need to do astrology. We could do the week ahead. How about we do the week ahead? We haven't done week ahead astrology in a while. Let me just take a quick breather and just check in with you guys. That was a lot of channeling, And, I'll admit here, I'll be the first to admit I was a little worried about today because my sister's fiance, they're actually getting married on the 10th of October. We had an obligatory or a mandatory bachelor's little night out yesterday. And so we went out, and his brother-in-law, his name is Eddie, got us all these crazy, like, got us into like this rooftop club and everything, and we went to the bars. And so I was drinking relatively heavily last night, so I was a little worried about today. And I asked God, I was like, God, do we need to postpone things, or we're going to be good? And he put me through a lot of healing before we got onto the live to make sure that things were pure and open and I could still channel. But I was just wondering, I go, how, like, is it possible to still channel when you're a little hungover? I don't know. It's very, very rare, though. I told him I go out like maybe once in a blue moon, like 2 or 3 months apart, So it's very, very rare. But I've never tried to then do a live stream and to channel right after that's happened. And so today was kind of a test run for me. I'm really glad that it still worked. Because one thing I was worried about was that I would get on here and I'll just be like, well, sorry guys, my powers don't work because I'm hungover. So anyways, luckily, I think someone said, like, it's not me doing the work, it's just me opening. So as long as I could be an open and clear and clean vessel, we can allow Spirit to come through and to say what they need to say. But I just thought that was funny, and I just wanted to be fully transparent with everyone here. Drink lots of water. Yes, drink lots of water. Absolutely. Yeah, I did my little biohacker protocol. I had some hydro tabs, had lots of magnesium, did lots of energy work. I feel good. I feel really good. All right. So yeah, let me see the chat here. So any questions you guys have about that reading? I'll take a couple questions. If there's any questions someone has, we'll answer that, and then we'll go in. We're gonna do the week ahead. So next up, we're gonna do the week ahead in astrology, and so we just see what's going on week by week. I think we're gonna start to bring that back. Taylor says, I've channeled Tipsy before. Good to know. Good to know. Good. Good. Looks like you guys had a good experience here with the channeling, so that's good. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get into it, huh? So, as per usual, we're going to be pulling up the charts here live. Claudia says, don't you dare cut your hair again. It might be coming. I'm not going to lie. It might be coming sooner rather than later. I keep kind of feeling the urge to do so, but it's not 100%. Okay. Okay, guys. So if you're on TikTok, we have the charts live on my YouTube channel, Science of the Soul and Stars, so you can actually see the charts as I'm pointing them out on my computer here. If not, you can listen along, and as always, we're going to channel the week ahead and the astrological alignments to basically give us an overhead view of what's going on energetically, so we know what's occurring. I feel like I'm crooked, by the way. I don't know if you guys... Okay, that's a little better. So we know what's coming up, so we can adapt to the energies as they come. So here we go. So today is September 26th, 2021. Ending of September here. Let me just check in, because I haven't looked at the astrology for a little while. So we have Sun conjunct Mars in Libra. Making massive trines to the North Node Lilith and the Moon. Wow. Okay. Let's check this out. So we also actually have a grand trine here. Okay. That's happening. Saturn in Aquarius. That's that Saturn energy, right? That's that commitment energy. That's that masculine desire or need to commit for the fullest possible experience of life that wants to be given to him through her. That's that energy of commitment. Saturn in Aquarius, trine, Mars conjunct the Sun. This is if you are willing to commit, and say yes, masculine or feminine, if you are willing to commit to go all the way in, to say yes, to let things flow, you will have an amazing experience of love and life right now. Sun conjunct Mars here in Libra. So this is taking place through collaboration with others, through partnerships, through loving relationships. The need to say yes and to have commitment present. In order to experience the greatest possible possibility and experience of what love and life has to offer us right now. Trining Moon, Lilith, North Node in Gemini, 11:11, Moon conjunct Ceres at 11:11 in Gemini. This is that Queen of Cups and Queen of Hearts again. Queen of Cups, maybe I am hungover. Queen of Cups and Queen of Swords energy. It's the battle between Queen of Cups and Queen of Swords energy. So with the Moon coming through and hitting Lilith and then hitting Ceres, it's almost like the energy of the feminine potentially is going back and forth, or experiencing a back and forthness between Queen of Swords and Queen of Cups energy, and unsure maybe completely of how to navigate that world. Or we are having the experience of both energies, both parties at this time. So it may feel like a bit of a roller coaster emotionally of all of our emotions, particularly of the feminines. It may feel like a roller coaster of the way in which she feels and the ways in which she's acting, and that's all normal. That's okay. This is meant to stabilize, actually, the energy of the masculine to be able to move forward. This is the energy right now. The masculine is required to hold the vision, hold the line, hold the space as the journey emotionally of the feminine goes through all of its emotions. And what they're showing me, right, is the turbulence, right? So this is the turbulence they were sharing, this is why, because the moon is going through these very intensive energies right now, as we speak, 11:11, Ceres in the moon. So as she goes through this, and as there is this experience of all of the spectrum of what she wants to and can express, generally, and also to the masculine, for the masculine has the opportunity to hold the line, hold the ground, hold the space, to hold the vision, and to ride the waves, ride it through, okay? And to commit through this. This is also why the importance of commitment is here, specifically for the masculine energy. Because it's only Saturn's commitment that allows the feminine the security to be able to freely express and to experience all of her emotions outward. Because without that semblance of commitment, there may be a concern or fear on the feminine's part that some of the things she does, says, or what happens would scare the masculine away. So but if both parties can do that, if both parties are allowing themselves to do that fully on the masculine's end commitment and the feminine's end expression, there can be a very amazing spontaneous flow of life and destiny right now. Okay. Whew. I always love how when I'm channeling, the energy holds me up, and then when it goes, I'm like, oh, it's like, and you're back. Thanks, guys. It's dropped me off a cliff. Okay. Yes, I keep seeing Mercury retrograde. Let me not forget Mercury retrograde. So you guys are right. That's a very important one. I almost, it's funny. I almost like, I downplay, Mercury retrograde sometimes. My Mercury is retrograde in my personal natal chart. So it's kind of when I'm at home, to be honest with you guys. Okay, let me see. So when does Mercury go retrograde? Because it's not technically retrograde yet. I think it's technically in its shadow. It actually goes retrograde tomorrow on the 27th. Okay. So tomorrow, Mercury goes retrograde in Libra, meaning that it's going to start to come back. Let me just make sure. Okay, well, we're actually going to go to the day now. Yeah. It's going to come back down through Libra. I'm going to look at the journey that this takes, because Mercury is actually going to go all the way back through Libra, and it's going to come back into a conjunction by the 10th of October. Wow. With the Sun and Mars also in Libra. I know we're going way far out here, but I just want to see the journey here, because the journey tells us a lot. So I can kind of summarize after that the purpose of this Mercury retrograde. So it ends on the 19th. You can see here the retrograde symbol went away. So Mercury retrograde happening from tomorrow, the 27th, until October 19th. And throughout that journey, because it's starting all the way at the end of Libra, it's going to go back and hit the Sun and Mars in Libra, which is very significant for the following reasons. A lot of things are going to be clarified, okay? If there's any area in your life that you feel have not been fully clarified or understood and are causing bits of confusion to occur in parts of your life because of unresolved and unclarified issues, a lot of things will be clarified during this retrograde that will help all of us to step more into our certainty, into our own self-assurance, and into our own direction. Okay? This is the theme they're telling me of this particular Mercury retrograde. Okay? Interestingly, I should tell my sister, because she's getting married on the 10th, that she's getting married in the middle of a Mercury retrograde. So that will be a very interesting marriage. But, and I would say, interestingly, I don't know if she's watching this, but the point of that thing or that marriage that's happening here and now, especially in a retrograde, would be to help both parties to continuously step more into their own personal and divine power and authority in this world. So this is also the theme of the Mercury retrograde, right? So, because it's Sun and Mars in Libra, so it's also through partnership and relationship, okay? So the theme of this Mercury retrograde, things being clarified that will help each of us through past or present healthy collaborative efforts, be able to step into and find more of our authority, our power, and our purpose this retrograde. So one recommendation I can give just for the retrograde here and now for all of you watching is, what area in my life, here's a channeled prompt for all of us. You guys can write this down and journal about it if you want. It might be helpful. What area in my life currently has a lack of power or certainty or direction because of a lack of clarification? Okay? And what will happen is either you will get clarification in that area, or you will no longer need to have clarity or clarification in order to have power. Does that make sense? You will let go of that attachment. So I want you guys to think through this Mercury retrograde as a channeled prompt. We had a 111 watching there. What area is still not as certain or powerful or direct because of a lack of clarification in my life, okay? This is the channeled prompt for Mercury retrograde. All right, good. So as we come back, again, Mercury retrograde starts the 27th. Let me see what else is going on here as we continue forward. We're going to go until the... Oh, man. We just ran out of coffee, so our time is limited. Our time is limited, guys. All right, let me hurry up. So I think we'll go until about the 5th, all right? For some reason, the 5th sounds good. So let's move on. Okay, on the 29th here, all right, Moon is in Cancer, makes a square to Chiron on the Earth, and a big square to the Sun and Mars. The 29th will be intense, all right? It will be intense. The reason why it's going to be intense is it's going to be focused on very deep inner wounds that are going to become seeping out. Now, this seeping, they're telling me, is going to act or feel like a bit of a bleeding that they're saying. And so it's going to be bleeding emotions, bleeding traumas, bleeding feelings. And this seeping can also affect others. And so you may be put in the presence of others around you who are seeping these very deep emotional traumas that, can definitely affect you energetically, or you may be going through something very deep. And what they're saying, if this is occurring, is just give yourself, this is why they're saying hermit with the high priestess, give yourself the time and space to do that, because otherwise you will affect others. So let's say, for example, what this is telling us directly is, let's say okay, that you're going through a very deep process. Like you're bleeding, your heart's bleeding emotions out, your heart's bleeding these traumas out. But yet you don't choose to take the time away from others to heal yourself, and you continue to interact with others. Well, your pain is going to seep onto them and it's going to hurt them. Okay? And you don't want to do that. Even though it's not on purpose, they're saying it's important to be responsible with your own energy. Okay? And so if like this is happening, you can feel it occurring, it's almost like we have a responsibility to say, I need a timeout. I need to take space. I need to be with myself, because otherwise it's going to hurt others. And that can happen spontaneously and unconsciously. And they're just saying to watch out for that, because it will be a very, very deep emotional day. I mean, Moon's in Cancer, square Chiron here in Aries. So be careful about projection and weeping emotions over people in a way that negatively affects them, because you aren't choosing to take that time to heal. That's one thing they want to caution. Also, you may come into contact with others on this day who are going through that process, and you will have to shield yourself from that in a healthy way, energetically. Okay. Let's keep moving. So 30th here. Moon is in Leo, October 2nd, 2021. Moon is in Leo, square Uranus in Taurus. Moon in Leo is trining Juno in Sagittarius. Beautiful. This time, what's coming up here. We talked about in the channel reading, we talked about leaps of faith, okay? We talked about being able to handle and go through sudden and unexpected changes that occur that provide lots of uncertainty, trials, and tribulation to anything or anyone trying to become stable and to build foundation. There will be lots of opportunity as in these current times that try to shake apart or to provide turbulence or just unexpectedness, really is the word, not even turbulence at this time. Unexpectedness is what they're saying in the elements of certainty and or plans. So on the second here, the tension here lies between the unexpected changes that are occurring that mess with any form of prior certainty that may have been established. And also adapting and going with that flow. And knowing that, right, the essential lesson here on the second will be learning to adapt and go with the flow and spontaneity of the changes that occur in life at every given time is one of the most important skills to master to become the best human you can be. One of the only constants, good friend of mine says, is change. And if we allow change to be integrated into our daily experience of life and learn to work with the element of change specifically, we can have a new level of mastery over the experience of our lives, rather than allowing change or spontaneity to trip us up or to cause unneeded tension, hesitation, or worry or stress in our lives. Okay, so this is the part of the lesson here that's occurring, is learning to do that process, but there's also a lot of tension being released here with that process as well. And that tension resolves around certainty and plans unexpectedly shifting and changing. Just saying, Moon in Leo, square Uranus and Taurus, things are going to change, okay? Things are not going to go as planned, and that will be what causes a lot of tension, but it is for the best. Okay, let's finish out here. October 3rd, Moon moves into Virgo. Wow. Oh my gosh. October 4th, we have the Sun with Mars, with Mercury, 11, 12, 22 at the degrees. We have Chiron, almost exact conjunction with the Earth here in Aries. And we have the Moon here now trining this Uranus in Taurus. The lesson of what they're saying is those who can become the most adaptable, those who are preparing themselves to become the most adaptable to any of the circumstances or situations that are occurring, will have the most opportunity for success. There's a call to action to create more adaptability in all of our lives at this time. And what I mean by that is, if there's anything that would not allow you to be able to freely move, express, change, or to shift directions on the dot, it's important to look at those things and to make a conscious effort to free them up, or to create the opportunity for change and to adapt at any given moment. This is, again, one of the most vital lessons that they're sharing at this time. Not saying that certainty and stability and predictability is a bad thing at all, because it's not. It's very good. But right now, they're saying it's very important to create more adaptability and to create more ability to shift instantaneously, both physically and emotionally, more so. Okay, so part of what we're being trained right now by going through constantly shifting circumstances, if it feels like that for you, or where there's a lot of changes, is we're getting trained now to be able to be okay with moving on the fly and always staying centered in the present reality versus what we thought or what we were previously certain of. Okay. They're emphasizing, again, those that can go with the flow and really adapt to the circumstances and be okay with that and be open to change will have the most opportunity for the greatest blessings and success in the near future. This is what they're saying here. That right there was probably the most important message they wanted to give. Why that's the case, I don't know. We did channel some crazy stuff potentially happening, right, in September. Some of those things happened a little bit, not to the extent that was, getting hinted at. We will continue to see what happens here. But they are emphasizing adaptability and flow and change. Okay. All right. And we'll finish out with the fifth here. I'll just say, okay, that's what they want. So Moon is coming to the end of Virgo here. And that is by the 5th at the end degrees of Virgo, trining Pluto here in Capricorn, which is significant for some reason. Let me see why they're emphasizing this. Okay, there seems to be a few different messages with this alignment, so let me see if I can get the most important ones through. What they're emphasizing here on the 5th, or as the beginning of October proceeds, they want to make it very clear that the perception of feminine energy and the transformation of that expression of feminine energy, wow, okay, they're saying is without a doubt, with no doubts, they're saying the most important aspect of the societal changes occurring in the months to come, which is really big. And I can see now why they are having me talk about the feminine so much. It's not because the masculine doesn't matter or because they don't want me to channel for the masculine, but it's because the journey of the feminine specifically now is the most important, without a doubt, when we talk about things being facilitated for the creation of the new world and of society. Now, the reason why this is because things are being, through her transformation, put back into their proper place. Things have gotten jumbled and put out of place, and the energies, it's all caused chaos through everywhere. But as the feminine, for whatever reason, it's the feminine that as she goes through this really, really deep shift and transformation, not only within herself, but within the perception of society, how those in society view her and her energy and what she is and how she views herself, more importantly, that changes the whole society back to where it was meant to go, back to where it was meant to be, back into its proper place. So they're saying this whole change in the world that we're talking about and that we're going through, it all actually relies on her emotional work, which is why the masculine is basically just being called to say, commit and provide and make sure she's safe and secure, because the feminine's work is the most important work for society out of everything. So feminines, if you feel that, you don't have as much of a role, or you're, just needing to heal, but your role is the most important out of everything, which is why you're literally just being called to just do that, just do that work, right? Just go through that healing and that transformative process. Allow others to support in other ways or to provide if you need it. But know that your role is the most important of everything everything. And I'm not just saying that because if there's a lot of feminines on here, I'm saying it, that's what they're telling me. Virgo is the premier feminine sign, right? The Virgo, the virgin, right? The pure feminine essence, which is why it's a feminine message. But they just want to make that clear as to what role the feminine has, which she is the one really transforming society. She will be creating the new template or canvas for what society is, while the masculine then leads and directs and places upon that canvas the things that will hold it in place, the things that will hold her creation in place. So more so for the feminine, more so than just creating and envisioning, like we saw in the channeled reading, what she wants in relationship, more so than even that, that's even just training so that because she is actually doing the same thing for society. She will then, when she's had the proper training within a relationship, right, creating and envisioning the house, the home, the life, the dog, the places, she will then be ready to do this with the society in which she exists in for the world. And so imagine the power of 140, or I guess, I don't know, Shaylee would probably know more, 144,000 of the twin flame, half, I guess, maybe, or masculine, half feminine. I'm not sure exactly. I would assume that that's the case. But imagine the power of all those feminines envisioning and connected to creating the canvas of the new way the world is working and the new society, which would then allow the masculine to be able to work with that substance of creation, what she, the feminine, is birthing through her envisioning and her creation. She is creating this. And then the masculine's job is just to go put it up, right? But she makes the canvas. And then the masculine will serve to put this up, to put it in place, right? To put the structures in place. So it's very important work, feminines. Bottom line, very, very important role. It's an honor to channel on behalf of all of you. Thank you for that opportunity. Thank you for that opportunity. And it's also important, I think, for masculines who are watching too, to understand what the feminine's going through. I know it's healthy for me to hear that too, because these are things that I don't know either. And the things that come through, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. All right. So let me go ahead and start to close this out. What an amazing live stream. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know how it's possible that, I still have lots of energy. I could keep going if I wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to do that. It's just a sign that this is such a mutually reciprocative, I don't know if that's a word, relationship between myself and everyone here on TikTok and Signs of the Soul and Stars. Also, I have my divine feminine, Paola, probably helping me. Absolutely helping me to channel and to have the energy to do this work. So please give a big thank you to her. I don't know if she's watching this moment, but if you could give a silent and energetic thank you to her, because I can definitely feel her energy coursing through my body as I speak, helping me to have the energy to channel these things. This is probably why I was able to get away with this after being hungover yesterday. In part because of her assistance. And it's also the power of the feminine that she can give to the masculine. So I just wanted to give her a shout out and say hi and thank you. And also to ask you guys to thank her as well. All right, let's go through questions and anything you guys have for me in terms of the reading and what made sense, what didn't make sense, just questions you have generally, how I can be of service. Looks like Claudia, or the moderator, or I think it's just Claudia, but has been doing a great job moderating. So thank you, Claudia. And we appreciate the work you're doing to keep the negative energy out of here. And let's go ahead and go into the comments here. So Heather says she is amazing also. Yes, she is. If you guys haven't followed her already, her name is Paola Michelle, and you can find her on TikTok and on Instagram. Okay, let's see. Sasa says, thank you. Just ran across your page. Towards the end, we'll have to rewatch. Yes, if you guys need to rewatch, it will be on my YouTube channel, Science of the Soul and Stars. And it will be up immediately after this. Okay. What was I going to say in accordance with that? I forget what I was going to say. Okay. Oh, yeah. Taylor's a moderator, too. Shout out to Taylor Mason. Thank you so much. I totally forgot you're also a moderator now on the YouTube channel. Thank you, guys. You guys are doing a great job. So thank you. Shout out to you guys. Okay. Sky says, stellar reading, Brandon. Thank you to Brandon's queen. Ah, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you guys for recognizing that. My DM has the same name as you. Someone says, thank you, Paola. Let's see. So my question is, I know that I'm chosen. I know that this isn't going to be easy, because if it was anybody, if anybody could do it, if you could please just energetically ask what's next and let me know. So my question is, I know that I'm chosen, and then I know that this isn't going to be easy, because if it was anybody could do it, you could please just energetically ask what's next and let me know. Does unconditional love exist? Scars into stars. I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Do you want me to, you're asking for a personal energetic read, I think, which I don't think I'm going to do right now, but thank you for your question. But if you have a different question that could apply to us, let me know. Does unconditional love exist? Yes, absolutely it does. The highest possible unconditional love that any of us could possibly ever experience comes from God, comes from source, okay? When and if we experience this love in this lifetime through another, it's because it comes directly from and through source. This is the power and the secret of unconditional love. Unconditional love is outside of the capabilities of regular love that we experience on a romantic level. Yes, that's very powerful, but unconditional love is the creation that comes from that other type of romantically attracted love. Does that make sense? The reason why marriage is a spiritual union and why God must be present in the next wave of relationships and those who are wed is because that is the only way that unconditional love can be held and created and experienced. Without God and Source flowing through the relationship, it will only ever stay at that romantic level, and it will never truly be able to ascend into what it's actually meant to be, which is the experience of heaven on earth. The experience of unconditional love here on earth is equivalent to the experience of experiencing heaven or the kingdom of heaven here on earth. And you can only do that through an experience that allows for that experience to occur, like relationships where God is present as well. Taylor Mason says, I'm curious about your message earlier. Did you say to wait for DM to give direction, or do we tell DM how we feel and that's the move? Tell him how you feel. Let him have that. Let him have all of that. Let him have all of it. All of it. Don't hold anything back anymore. No more holding anything back. If you have things you want to express, good, bad, ugly, sexy, I mean, let him have all of it. This is the ask from Spirit. Let him have all of it. Let him handle it. Let him show you he can handle it, by the way, too, because this is important for the feminine to test that the masculine can handle all of her, can hold all of her. This is important. So yes, I would say the first thing to do is to express all of yourself to the masculine, and then to allow the masculine through that process to hold the direction and hold the line and hold the vision of what he feels is best for both, and to also then be open to being redirected if necessary through the expression of the feminine. This is how it goes. It's a redirection. So it truly, truly is, like most people, some people will say, you know, the masculine is the leader, right? And yes, he must lead, but it's not necessarily that he's the leader. It's like they're co-leaders, okay? Does this make sense? It's different. It means something very different to say the masculine must lead. Yes, he must lead. But that doesn't necessarily mean he is the leader. It's just a give and take. The masculine leads, the feminine redirects. Masculine leads, feminine redirects. Okay? It's a constant back and forth here. Co-pilots, in some ways. So this is how the feminine should feel within her dynamic within the masculine, is that it's an equal partnership of sorts where each have their specifically designed roles. Okay? And not saying that this has to be like, in some dynamics, this will occur in the opposite way, where maybe the female has more of the masculine energy and maybe the male has more of the feminine energy, or vice versa. It can go in a number of ways, but typically, not always, but typically the male will be drawn more to the masculine role, and the feminine will be drawn more to the feminine role, because it's exhausting to have it the other way if it's not naturally meant to be that way. Okay? In a lot of cases, not in all cases. All right. Good, guys. Lots of questions. Lots of questions. Hold on. Riri says, how do we know collectively if we should act on an opportunity or take an action that could shake our stability? Interesting question. Okay. Really good question. Okay. So here's the best advice I can share. This isn't the truth or an answer like I know it all. It's just the advice that's coming through right now for you, Riri, in this way. And the question again is how to know in your life if you should take a move, right, that could potentially disrupt your stability. And the answer is when that stability is no longer serving you, or that stability is costing you more than it gives back. Whatever that form of stability or certainty is limiting or taking away more than it is providing back to you, then it may be time to consider a change. Right? So you have to evaluate the risk and reward ratio. And you also have to be willing to evaluate how much, like what would happen if you stayed within that stability for the long term. Like take whatever that stability is and imagine yourself continuing with that for the next 5 or 10 years, and what your experience of life would be if that were to happen without a change. And if that answer is things keep getting worse, things keep feeling heavier, things keep feeling restricted, then yes, I would make the change sooner rather than later. When the benefits outweigh the potential risk, when the potential benefits outweigh the potential risk of any given choice to make a change in a significant fashion, when the benefits significantly outweigh the risk, that change must be made. It's only a matter of emotional attachment sometimes to the semblance of security that keeps us from making those beneficial changes. Okay? That's what I would say. As advice. Okay, Scars into Stars. I like that name, Scars into Stars. That's a really cool name. I didn't see that. I'm just asking like I'm in separation, so I'm asking, how do I know if this is my real twin flame or something else? First of all, I would say there's no need to worry at all. Here is a good question, so I'm glad you asked it. For everyone watching, there is no need to ever worry yourself or concern yourself about whether or not someone is actually your twin flame or not. Speaking as the person who channels for twin flame situations, hear me out. There is never a need to worry yourself or concern yourself or ask these specific questions around, is someone my true twin flame or not, and or to have that influence your decision. The best thing you can possibly do is navigate your relationships and your life as if everyone who comes into it is a romantic potentiality that will bring happiness and stability and purpose to your life if it is meant to be. And to navigate each and every single one of those situations accordingly, irregardless as to whether or not they might be a twin flame or not. If you take that completely out of the equation and just allow yourself to experience whatever that experience is meant to be together with that person or that potential partnership, it will lead you to a stronger place of clarity and truth than if you allow the question of twin flames to get in. And the reason I say this is because it will be shown and revealed to you in time without any doubt. And you can have faith and trust in that alone as to whether or not you have a twin flame connection with someone. That will be revealed to you in time. You don't have to learn it or guess it or think about it. You don't have to do any of that shit. Believe me. Believe me. Believe me. It will be shown to you. So, to answer your question directly, Scars into Stars. I love that name, by the way. That's a great name. I would trademark that name. Scars into Stars. If you were to take out the question of whether or not this is your twin flame or not, and you were just to navigate it as a normal love potential relationship and apply some of the words and the channelings and the messages we came through today to your situation, what would your answer be? Would you be, the simple question is, would you be a yes to continuing on with that potential partnership or a no? That's the only thing you got to find out. At every moment in the way, do you choose to continue to participate within any given potential partnership because of the potential benefits and life that you can have together? Or do you choose not to because it does not serve or allow you to reach your greatest dreams or vision or desires in this lifetime? That is the only thing to ask. And if it so happens that God wants you to be with a twin flame, He will show you and He will reveal that to you very clearly. Okay? That's my answer. Amanda Davis says, so Source is astral screwing me? No, he is not. I had to read that one out because I saw it. I was like, I got to read this one out loud. Not to call you out, Amanda Davis, but no, I don't believe that's the case. Okay, let me see. Okay, Green Lemon 52. I want to have an honest conversation with my divine masculine about my true feelings and needs, but I'm worried that will come from a place of ego and from past hurt. Okay, very, very, very important question. This is actually what was coming through in the channeled reading around Five of Swords, Queen of Swords, the Nine of Wands. This is the feminine's expression that comes from a place of trauma or hurt that causes the masculine to reevaluate or to pull back or to be weary because he feels like he's getting attacked. Okay? Great question. Number one, if there's anything on the feminine's end that she feels she needs or wants to express specifically to the or her masculine at any time, she should give herself full permission to do this. And to not be so concerned about where her expression is coming from, even if it does come from a place of ego or hurt. Okay? If it happens to be that from that place, okay, it will still help and be redirected through and by the masculine presence to be able to help heal both parties. Okay. Part of the expression of the feminine to the masculine is the opportunity to transmute, is what they're saying, to transmute past traumas and hurt through the power of partnership. Okay. So this is why, number one, the feminine should never hold back. Like, let him have it. Let him have it. Don't be scared. It's not too much. If it is too much, he's not your person. Because what will happen is the masculine will have to stand stronger in his presence, in his heart, in his truth, in his commitment to hold space for the feminine. And as he holds space and she expresses, the pain is transmuted. You guys see that? So go for it. Now, over time, as this happens, over time, the feminine will become more familiar with the source from which her pain may be emanating or coming. And at times, she may choose to just deal with that herself, and that's okay. But if it ever feels like this needs to be expressed to the masculine or to someone in particular, trust that impulse as well. Okay? Always trust that impulse. And yeah, some of it may honestly be clarified or redirected through the masculine's awareness or presence as well. Because the masculine may sit and say, love, this is not coming from you, this is coming from that. Right? An outside party, at least. But this is the clarity and the presence from the heart center that the masculine, the true masculine, can bring to the feminine, which is presence and clarity, and a reflection as well. So the masculine also helps hold up a mirror and a reflection to the expression of the feminine to give her clarity about her pain. Okay? All right. So one thing that both can work on, and the masculine as well, is not taking things so personally. That's another thing. Not taking things so personally. Okay. Hope that helps. Oh, wow, Aaron, thanks for sharing that. That's exactly what we saw today with the butterfly burst out of the chrysalis. It's exactly what we saw. That was what the vision they showed me. Really cool. Thanks for sharing that. She said, after last week's live, I asked for clarification, and during sleep, I saw the Queen of Swords, and I heard, why is the Queen of Swords here? A few months ago, I channeled a butterfly burst out of chrysalis and burst. Yeah, beautiful. So, okay. A couple things that I want to address here. I want to share something with Amanda Davis here, specifically. And she's sharing a few things here. She said, just go trust in God. She said, this is a trap, and y'all are so crazy for wasting time on this, just like I am. This is literally brain damage. And y'all really enjoy letting someone else dictate your love for you or your life. And she says, I really don't care if you block me. What am I losing? We're not going to block you, first of all. Most of the time, all ways and vehicles with which expression happens has value. And one of the things I've said is, except when it puts the chat or this live stream in jeopardy, is that I'm always open to the fullness of expression from anyone who would like to share their opinion. This has got me into trouble a few times, but I still stand behind it. Because sometimes I believe also that we have the opportunity to transmute these energies that come forth with unconditional love. Now, Amanda, I'm not sure why you are so upset. But one thing I would say is that I agree with you that it's best to trust in God. And I would say that we are not your enemies. We are not your enemies, and we are not trying to in any way attack or harm you through this. We are all doing our absolute best to receive guidance, to receive clarity, and to navigate this crazy ass world and this crazy ass situation that we're all being put through. And so while you are free to share and express how you feel, I would just share with you, if you're going to stay here, that we are not your enemies. We're here to help, and we're here to support. So please don't make us into that. And that doesn't just go for Amanda. It goes for anyone else as well who may feel threatened, who may feel angry, who may feel like we are the enemies. We are all going through a very difficult transitional time. And the best thing we can do, instead of making others around us into our enemies, is to share with them what is truly going on and accepting in love and vulnerability in the space of anger and resentment. We hope we can be of service to everyone here. Sometimes we can't, and that's okay. But that is our goal. So thank you for being here. And let's move on. Okay. All right, let me see if there's any last questions that we can go through before. I mean, it's been almost 3 hours, 12 minutes. At this point, Paola is probably exhausted. We'll see. Okay. Dawn says, love this. Love that you chose to address rather than ignore. I can't express how valuable this is. We are all dealing with the same energy when trying to walk through the 3D after awakening. Thank you. You're welcome, Dawn. And thank you for saying that. 33. What's going on with 33? You're welcome, Don. Thank you for saying that. All right, guys, if there's no other questions, we're going to start to close out here. Thank you again for an amazing live stream. As always, it is an honor. It's amazing. It's so fun. This is one of the highlights of my week is doing this live stream. So thank you. As a quick favor, I will ask for your assistance in helping the video to be more liked and more shared. So if you guys, enjoyed the video, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, to the family, to the soul family, to the tribe, to the 144,000 light workers that were here, please hit that subscribe button on Signs of the Soul and Stars. I have opened up single sessions and coaching containers for those of you guys that are interested. They're on my website, brandontobias.com, so you can always check those out. I don't do recorded readings anymore. I've just gotten too busy with my other stuff to be able to keep doing that. So I appreciate you guys, but I do have single sessions open and coaching containers. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And this is totally only possible with you guys' support. So thank you. Shout out to Paola as well, who I know is helping to hold and channel and share the energy with me as her masculine. Thank you. And I love you guys. Thank you again. Until next week. Bye for now.